Hello everyone, this is CJ Novo 992 and today, yes, we're back with a brand new video, but it certainly doesn't feel like a brand new video. In fact, I feel like we've all been here before, just a couple months ago. If we go back to February, and I genuinely believed, based on the entire game, the full first half, second half, a couple petering out, besides the one goal that was late on from the game that was assisted by John McLaughlin, I think I could upload that exact game recap and nobody would have noticed any difference, and I probably should have, because it would have been a hell of a lot easier than having to sit and talk about that pathetic performance from Rangers Football Club, as of course the final score was Celtic 4, Rangers 0. The days of those types of scorelines, I should say, should be long over, and there's absolutely no excuses I'm going to sit here and talk about. There's no ridiculous referee decision, there's no any of this, there's none of that. No, people, Celtic came into this game of football and just wanted it more. They played faster, they played more direct, and they just took it for us. And if you remember that exact line we talked about in yesterday's preview video, it's all on Giovanni coming into this game in terms of how he sets up. Is he going to go for it? Because the last two Old Firms, they pretty much had to, so we're in the face, we were attacking. If we played conservative, we would get scalped, and for me, we did play conservative and so safe in possession and so pathetic. And it isn't even just that, and again, I'm not taking anything away for the way Celtic played in this game. They genuinely just roasted us in every single aspect, but every goal pretty much came from the exact same way. Celtic having some kind of set piece, or the ball that we play like a throw in or anything like that, or a quick free kick, and Rangers just turning, looking away. I mean, the first goal is genuinely criminal because Kent does the hard thing, should get it clear, he tries to beat a man, it hits off him, but then he knows it's hit off him, right? I know he's playing to the referee and everything like that, and you shout for everything, that's the way football is, but he knows in his mind that's hit him last. Why on earth is he just walking away, letting his teammates, Glenn Kamara, leave the box, all that? It's madness, people. We didn't face it, the catchers, with that one, and we'll speak about that in more detail, but every single goal was like that, and it genuinely baffles me that I did it, right? I'm a diddy people. I've not got all the football badges and all the cool wee things or anything. I sit here and I tell you my honest opinions each and every single game week, and we talk about the football. But how can myself, there's no company here, no business, I do all this myself, sit here and say to you 24 hours before a game of football exactly how Celtic are going to play and exactly how they're going to go after it and exactly how they will try to take it to Rangers, and we turn up actually in the game and are absolutely shocked and surprised at how they play. Like, what's the preparation that's gone in to these games of football? Because genuinely, we're really going to sit here and say we didn't realise that Celtic would play quickly from set pieces. I mean, they've got on frickin' t-shirts, for God's sake. Honestly, I thought that aspect of the game, the way we approached it, the mentality, the battle and mindset was pathetic today, and there's not one single player on that part that I would give a passing mark for winning their individual battle. And I mean that. And honestly, I didn't feel like this will be one of these cases that after the dust settles and we take a day or two, that we'll go back and say, oh, this guy played well, this guy, did they? Or did they just play, or did they make themselves look like they played better than maybe what they did because everyone else around them was absolutely garbage? Because there's not one player in that Rangers shirt I'd give higher than a 5, and this is an Old Firm game, ladies and gentlemen. Everyone needs to be up at a 7 or 8. That's all these games are. Form, statistics, all that malarkey, Disney frickin' marks, but winning these individual battles. We talked about it on yesterday's video, and not one of them did, in my opinion. And that's genuinely pathetic to go into this game away to Parkhead, the first Old Firm of the season. Again, nothing's won or lost. We talked about that in yesterday's video in terms of league titles or anything like that. But what a psychological boost that'll be to not only the fan base, which I'm sure is loving it rightly so. I mean, I take the digs, I take the piss when we win, so I ken what's coming and everything like that. But from a player's perspective, if you're in that Celtic team right now, you have got your chest out every single week because we didn't lay a finger or glove on them all afternoon, and that's very, very disappointing, and genuinely I'm shocked at that, despite what happened in February, because I sat here in yesterday's video saying the next two times we played them it was much more direct and aggressive, and that's how I thought we would play, but we just reverted back, and honestly I still can't comprehend why. And it's weird, you know, because if you're following me on social media or anything like that, obviously we posted a video 24 hours before, but this morning I tweeted out saying I am mentally preparing for Glenn Kamara to be used as the 10 and Tillman to be sacrificed out wide, completely putting us off balance, making us slow and pedestrian in the middle and ponderous going forward. And that's what I put out there because I just had a fear that Gio would play like that. And see, when I seen the starting 11, Like, normally I'm jokey, I'm happy, I'm doing a wee bit of banter, but you saw what I was like online. I just didn't think it matched up at all. And I know people say, oh, it's easy to say in hindsight, and you're saying it now and everything. Like, no, I was saying it on social media this morning, people. That, for me, was a major, major red flag. And for me, almost just opened the floor for Celtic to dominate the middle and wide areas. Where, again, for me, if you watch yesterday's preview video, the wide areas was going to determine this freaking game. That's why I wanted a left winger at the left-hand side and a right winger at the right-hand side, so they couldn't double up, so they had something to worry about going back way. But we never done any of that, ladies and gentlemen, and it was absolutely pathetic the way we actually approached this game. And like I said, it just opened the door for Celtic just to trot on in and have their fun. And honestly, it was a fun day. I imagine if you're a Celtic fan or like, you're looking back saying, wow, that was easy. And for me, this performance and this result's a lot worse than maybe the Murty days or the Pedro days, because we were a laughing stock then. We never really had any good players. You know what I mean? Like, you were expecting, because how bad we were getting beat all the time off teams, so you got to expect or anything like that. So despite it being funny and getting a laugh on occasion, everything like, you went, right, they're kind of a joke right now. They're not who they should be. They're nowhere they should be. But now we are. There is absolutely no excuses for the manner in which we were defeated this afternoon. We have reached the Champions League. We have made the money. We have sold big players for money. We should not be in this position that we are in. And for me, taking a wee split second away for the game, that goes right to the top as well. It's pathetic. But again, I didn't want to try and use as an excuse or voice my opinion too much on that. I'm going to make a separate video in the next couple of days. I want to try and drag it back to the football, because despite me looking at this Rangers team and despite me saying we are nowhere near in terms of the money we've brought in, replicated it and spent the money to improve the squad, even me saying all that doesn't take anything away from the players that actually went on the park, because these players on the park should not be getting beat 4-0 at Parkhead. They just genuinely shouldn't be people in. Again, it's a disgrace. So there is a lot of frustrations there. I'm trying to get my mind right, so let's try and transition in to the game recap and talk about the first goal of the game then, shall we? And the way it comes down, man, embarrassing, because again, it hits off Kent. He knows it's hit off him, but he starts walking away, and that gives Glenn Kamara a chance. They start saying, oh, it's your ball, then it's this. Everyone starts getting a wee bit lax, and then Celtic just pick the ball up. Jota knows it's hit Kent, so he just takes it quickly. Why is he going to slow down and give us an opportunity to put ourselves in the position? He passes in, and I think the cross gets deflected if I'm remembering it properly, but still, man, it's a ball coming in the 8-yard line or something like that for the actual box. It's a disgrace how it's not been defended. And if you go back and you look at Sands, who I didn't think had the worst game in the world, he's probably one of those ones that was almost a 5. But look at Sands and Barisic here, man. Look at the tracking of their man, Abada. He only couldn't track their own delivery on Justy. It is stinking defending, and Abada just comes in and says, thank you, I'll have a free shot and goal. And for me, John McLaughlin should do better here. I don't know if I'm being overly critical because of the way the rest of the goals unfolded, but that's no good enough for our Rangers number one. I backed you. I've said a lot of nice things about you, and for me, you've had good moments in PSV, USG and everything like that, but these are the games that really matter, and you need to step up and be counted. And in your first try at this, you failed. So it ends up trickling its way into the back of it, and again, it's a carbon copy of February, and you're thinking, oh no, just get on the ball, let's see a bit of grit, let's see a bit of fight. But there was very little. 10 minutes later, it genuinely should be 2-0 for Celtic as they whip a ball, and it almost catches Giamakis at the back post, who again was on for the injured Kyogo. And then we had our moment. After Ryan Kent had one of his actual good runs in the game, he beats Juranovic, he beats, I think it's Hatate in the middle of the park, I'm not 100% sure. Anyway, he runs away for a couple people, plays it wide to Kamara, Kamara passes it to Barisic, he puts in a gorgeous cross on it, and Cholak should do a hell of a lot better. It was one of those ones that Giamatti should have scored, Cholak should have scored, so it was disappointing from that aspect, but at least we created one thing in the actual game. And for a brief moment, a very brief short period of time, from the 21st minute when we had that opportunity to about the 26th, 27th, we were on the ball, we were past. I don't know why we stopped putting balls into the mixer down the right hand side. Tavernier just wouldn't cross it for some reason, but Barisic put in 4 really, really good crosses. We just never had enough people in the areas. Again, Kamara's no a 10. Why are we playing a guy that doesn't want to attack in the most attacking midfield role? Am I making any sense here? Genuinely, he's out there hiding in the box. Get Tillman in there, get another winger, and you've got people attacking. But whatever, ladies and gentlemen, Giovanni clearly likes the recycling possession and playing the horseshoe constantly and all that stuff. So anyway, we had a brief spell of the ball, and then complete self-infliction again as a foul happens and they're going to take it quickly. And then Lundstram has a wee kick at the ball, so he puts it in. But then Lundstram turns away. Kamara's no interested. Maybe he's thinking of France. Who knows? Ryan Kent's no looking either. All three of them's no facing the ball. And they just go, one pass beats three Rangers players. Parkhead, middle of the park, 30 minutes in the game. That's as criminal as anything you're going to see. It's a good ball in, and to be fair, like, we're going to say some things, and obviously I'm disappointed in how Rangers, but this goal's genuine quality. Like, it's frightening. If Ryan Kent was doing this, if somebody else was doing this in his team, I'd be sitting here smashing beers, loving life. It's a wonderful through ball. The touch is immaculate, and then the chip is absolutely outrageous by Jota, and that's what we talked about in yesterday's video. Drifting in and out, drifting in into space, and he's so damn dangerous. It's a great goal. I think it's the only way he can score, and if I'm maybe being overly critical, McLaughlin could do a wee bit better to spread himself, make himself bigger. But again, I think this is one of the occasions you have to hold your hand up and say, that there is just quality. But again, that's no surprise, because again, yesterday's video we talked about this devastating Celtic attack. Again, what was it I said? They're on flames, they're like Anakin on Mustafar. Well, they showed it, because they've had 2 shots now and 2 freaking goals. They're clinical when they get chances, and it's 2-0, and I wouldn't say it was game, set and match right there, but we've put ourselves in a massive hole 30 minutes into the game, when again, it's easily avoidable. 2 quick restarts away for stopping those attacks dead and keeping us in the game. That's the frustration for me, because honestly, it's amateur league stuff, especially when you're playing against Celtic, because this is what they do. What were we preparing for all week? What was the preparation from Gio? Did anyone talk about them restarting? Because I'll promise you right now, I am 100% convinced it wasn't mentioned once, because not one of those players reacted quickly to anything in the game. Slow getting back as if it was a European game and everything was going to be played in front. No, that's not how Celtics played. Who prepared and planned this frickin' game? Now, we did have a header from a set piece, and we did have an almost from Tillman at the back post where the ball came in and he just never quite got there. Again, wee half opportunities, but then Celtic get the third goal of the game, and it's nearly a carbon copy of the first one, except there was no throw this time. The ball comes in, it's drilled in. Again, no one tracking, no one putting their body on the line. It's genuinely embarrassing, and Abada's got his second goal of the frickin' game now, as he nutmegs, I believe, John McLaughlin, and that's 3-0 at Parkhead, people. That well and truly is game, set and match again. After what happened in February, and we were told that wouldn't happen again. We've learned our lessons, blah blah blah. Pathetic performance, a one-off bad performance. These things can happen. We heard all the excuses after February, where we wore the exact same pyjamas a day and repeated every single frickin' mistake. So we go into the second half, and guess what? Glenn Kamara is subbed off. That's right, we put a right winger down the right hand side, and we moved Tillman into his best frickin' position. Mind-blowing stuff here. What a footballing genius move that is. Obviously, we looked brighter because we actually had 2 wingers on the park that couldn't double up or anything like that, and we had a little bit of something. But again, it's not too much. And again, I'm not wanting to pick on Scott Wright or anything, but you know what you get from him. At least he was pacey and direct, and he tried to do a couple of things. It's criminal. It takes us to go 3-0 down before we actually try and be direct both down channels. And Glenn Kamara played 45 minutes longer than he should have this afternoon. And for me, that just summed up everything. The fact that it takes us to go 3-0 down before playing people in the right position. Like, as good as Celtic were today, what we did. And then wee bits of play again. We've got the ball a couple of times. They're looking dangerous on the counter attack. Not too much is actually happening. We have a pot shot here, a pot shot here, but then we make a substitution as Alfredo Morelos comes on the park for Cholak. That's right. 3-0 down at Parkhead doesn't justify going 2 up top and throwing a dice at it, people. No, we settled and we tried to sit in and kept to the horseshoe manoeuvre. One game plan. There is no plan B, and that there is a shambles in itself. I know it's a wee silly thing, but we're 3-0 down. Do you know what? It maybe play 2 forwards and at least try to get us back into the game. Like, really? Is that what we are now? We one set, there's one game plan, there's one way of playing. If that doesn't work, well, there's always next week. But Tillman ends up coming off the park as well, and he comes off for Scotty Arfield, and Arfield has a major opportunity. Now, somebody can tell me in the comment section below, because I thought this wouldn't have counted. I thought the whistle blew in terms of, because it's a quick set piece, a quick goal kick, Joe Hart tries to find Scott Arfield. Arfield gets the ball inside the box and hits it over the bar. Now, I thought, it's one of these ones where it's been blue because he's inside the box. But the way Joe Hart responds to the referee and goes off his nut screams to me that that was actually a passage of play that was allowed to happen because Arfield wasn't facing the ball to intercept it. So can somebody let me know, if Arfield didn't miss that absolute sitter, would that have counted? Now again, I'm not saying it would have drastically changed the game, but that is a bona fide sitter that Scotty Arfield missed if it was allowed to play. And again, I just think because of Joe Hart's reaction and running up to the referee and going off his nut, screams to me that that was actually allowed to be played. But aye, where Joe Hart got away with his defensive mistake, and that's what we talked about yesterday. That's why defensively they aren't as impressive as they are going forward to me, because they have these mistakes, they give these chances away. You've just got to actually fricking take them, but we just kept throwing them out the way every time we got handed one. And then we decided to replicate and just hand them a fricking goal. And this is John McLaughlin, man, and this is definitely one that you'll look at and say, you know what, there is something there. And I've got to hold my hands up and say maybe I was wrong about McLaughlin being Rangers number one, because this is unforgivable in a way, because there is no pressure on him to pass this football. There is 3 players that's able to get the ball, but he tries to force the pass directly to John Lundstrom when Turnbull's standing in front. I think his head went. Like, I'm saying it now, I think his head just went, people, and he was maybe doing that wee corridor. We've all been in those situations where we just can't really see in front of us, and it's just one of those things, and he's just panicked and hit it, and he's gave it right to Turnbull. Turnbull does what he's always done, finishes brilliantly, and that's 4-0 to Celtic, and that goal there is one of those ones that's going to bring a lot of conversation points, because Goldson's there for the easy pass, Sands is there for the easy pass, but for whatever reason he passed it directly to Turnbull, and it just makes me think, right, that's the level of performance he's now had versus Celtic. Do you remember Robbie McCrory? And again, give me a second to explain myself. He had a game last season versus Celtic where he kept a clean sheet, we won 1-0, and he made 2 fantastic saves versus Kyogo, one of them 1v1 and one of them down to the left hand side, wonderful save. We've not seen that laddie again since he had a phenomenal game versus Celtic and kept a clean sheet. What's going to happen with John McLaughlin now after what he's just put in right frickin' there? And again, the closest he's came to looking like Alan McGregor is he replicating McGregor's performance at Parkhead in February. He was near nothing in terms of actual shots. So it's very, very frustrating. Again, I still think he's a good goalkeeper. He could bounce back in that, but I've seen the way we treated a young Rangers goalie after he had a phenomenal game versus Celtic. What are we going to do to somebody new who's had an absolute shambles of a performance? And where is Robbie McCrory? People can let me know their thoughts and opinions on it. I imagine it will be a massive discussion point. Again, it was one of those games that could make or break someone's Rangers career, and it's about as bad as you can get in terms of in between the sticks, and that goal there is a hard one to actually forget. It's just pathetic in every single aspect. So yeah, that's 4-0. Probably could have been more to Celtic. Again, they look very dangerous on the counter-attack. We look ponderous. I know we had an opportunity at the end, and Callum McGregor nearly scored another own goal for us. Honestly, he's the best goal threat in this game. He's trying to score for his boyhood team. Sticks his head in it, but it's a good save by Joe Hart. I think Connor Goldson gets close with a header as well, which is well saved by Joe Hart. But am I going to sit here and talk about this when the game's done and dusted at 4-0? No, I'm no, people, because if they are going to put in that little effort and that little time, why on earth are we going to replicate it and reward them way it back? It was pathetic. Men versus boys in this game in every single aspect of the word, and Celtic deserved every ounce of media coverage and all the excitement and how good their fans are going to feel. The players earned them that right, and I guess you could say everything we're going to feel and all the anger, the frustration, the disappointment was earned by our players by what they done on the frickin' park as well. So it was 4-0 to Celtic, fully deserved in every single aspect. So that's me, had my say in the game. What about you? Let me know your thoughts and opinions and try to describe what you just witnessed, because honestly I think I've spent about 25 minutes here and I don't think I've got even close to the surface to explaining my frustration. But that's it, people. I'll wait to see what your thoughts and opinions are until next time, which will be the preview for Ajax. Yes, we've got to go away to Ajax now. Do you feel good about the team right now? Honestly, I look forward to discussing it then in the airways. But until then, take care of yourselves. I've been CJ Roman 2. All the best and bye bye.